Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And we also like to make sure that you are safe and protected from scams, which is a big part of what the Better Business Bureau does. And so we're honored to be joined by the Director of Marketing and Communications for the Better Business Bureau of Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, Lorneth Peters. And so, Lorneth, how are you doing?
I am doing well, Jeremy. I'm so excited to be here with you and have a discussion.
Absolutely. Well, you do so much when it comes to being an advocate, making sure that we are safe and protected. And so let's start with a little bit of context. Give us some of the background. When you talk about the BBB, give us some context and some background.
Great question. The BBB has been around since 1912, so that's over 100 years now. And the basis on why it was started, several men came together, they were in business, and they realized something. In 1912 to like 1955, we started to see an increase in print ads. And a lot of the ads were false ads. For instance, I don't know if you saw the ad. I was looking up the different ads that were around during that time. And one of the ads said, 7-Up is for babies, right? 7-Up is not for babies. So they wanted to find a way to make sure consumers are receiving trustworthy information as it pertains to what businesses can offer them. And that's what they did back in 1912, and that's what we're doing today in 2022. We want to ensure that there's a space in the market for consumers and businesses to find a trustworthy spot.
Talk about how it works, because you are supported by businesses, but also an advocate to make sure that everything is true and trustworthy for consumers. And there's a lot that goes into that. So talk about how the magic works.
I think the magic just goes back to us providing a space of trust. Over the last year, we've heard something called safe space, right? A safe space where individuals can come together and have a conversation. So we're not about one particular person or one particular business or one particular consumer. We want to ensure that we are providing trust in the marketplace for both the business and the consumer.
Share a little bit about the kind of the way it works in terms of the businesses joining, becoming accredited. There's a process there to make sure that they are, doing all the right things. And then the public facing side of this where consumers can voice their side and then you play the intermediary. So talk about kind of how it works a little bit.
Yes, a lot of times when individuals hear about BBB, they automatically think any business can become an accredited business, but there's a vetted process. Not every business will be accredited because they don't meet the 8 standards of trust that we follow. And 8 standards, I'll just give you about 3 of them. It's all about being trustworthy, about being transparent, and keeping your word. We understand businesses go through ebbs and flows as it pertains to employment, workforce, the way their processes work. So we just want to ensure they're keeping trust towards the consumer as they continue to provide a trustworthy foundation for their business.
When you talk about a business becoming accredited, obviously meeting those standards, what does that process look like for them in terms of reaching out, starting that process, going through it? What does the process look like for a business?
First, what they'll do, they'll go to bbb.org and say that they're interested in being an accredited business. And then we reach out to them. We ask them for specific information as it pertains to their website, if they are a licensed contractor or whatever business they're in, their license. And we actually vet and ensure what they're saying is actually true, which is why we usually encourage businesses to reach out and start the process of becoming accredited after they've been around for about 6 months. Because if you've only been around for a month, we don't really know if you're trustworthy, right? We don't know too much about you. So usually the 6-month spot and on is a sweet spot for businesses to reach out if they're interested in becoming accredited. So then they give us all the information we request, and it takes a few weeks and sometimes a few days, sometimes a few weeks. We just want to make sure we do our part by vetting that business before they become an accredited business and they're added to our bbb.org website.
What does it mean? Because you do see a lot of businesses in a good way that advertise, the A rating. And so when you talk about an A rating, A plus, all those kind of things, what does that mean and how does that manifest?
I know for some individuals, sometimes the A to B to C can be confusing, but basically what it is, if a consumer reaches out about an issue, or 100 consumers reach out about an issue, and you respond, you ensure you resolve that issue, you can keep that rating. If you are not responding, if we see that you're not following the 8 standards of trust, of course, then the rating changes at that point.
One of your roles is protecting consumers. And when you talk about everything that's going on, not just now, but has been with all of the rise in the scams and everything from phone scams to internet. I mean, it's like there's so many of them, texting. When you talk about the top trends and the scams that are going on right now, what are maybe the top ones that have your attention?
The top ones, and has been number one for many years, are pet scams. They're finding more creative ways to go about these pet scams, but the most current one we've seen over the last week or so has to do with a pet scam that is impacting different individuals in Tennessee. For instance, someone receives a text message or they go online and they see a pet they're interested in. They click the link and then the link tells them, yes, we have a pet available for you. It's at this address. Now they're giving out actual addresses to individuals who live in Tennessee. The consumer who's interested in purchasing that pet, they go to the house. It's not where their pet is. Their pet never arrived to that location and the pet is nowhere to be found. The pet actually does not exist. So that's the top one we've been seeing over the last few weeks, I would say.
I know that you have kind of a top 10 list. We'll get through as many of these as we can. So pet scams obviously being one of them. Give us another one that's high on your radar screen and what you're seeing a lot of today.
We're seeing a lot of tech scams also as it pertains to your utility bills relief. We know our utility bills are looking a lot different right around now, and we're seeing that. We're also seeing some text messages as it pertains to your PayPal account. Your PayPal, I guess your credit card is no longer active. You need to reactivate your credit card. So we're seeing that one also. Utility bills, pet scams, PayPal. We're also seeing text messages from Amazon saying, hey, your package is on its way. We just need you to click this link to ensure you saw this text message. So those are some of the things we're seeing.
I think that one follows a similar route as the email, where you get those emails, those phishing, spear phishing, whatever you want to call them, where they're sending you fake links and you click on those links and then all of a sudden they either take you to a place where you're putting in your personal information and you don't realize it, they're spoofing, or they're putting in some sort of malware or something into your computer, and so giving them access. So a lot of the tip is, don't click the link, but what are you encouraging for consumers when you talk about the pet scams, the text message scams? I mean, delete the text message as soon as it comes in, reach out direct, don't click the link. What are some of the top tips to protect ourselves?
Yeah, those are all great tips you've given so far. You've been listening to us lately, huh, Jeremy?
I try.
Thank you. One of the first things is to report it as a scam, or as a you can click on the text message and it'll say, depending on who your provider is, you can report it. So you report it. The next thing, of course, delete the message. And if you're not sure, there's usually a phone number on there or something else on there. Just call that phone number or go online and do a search, scams as it pertains to text messages, scams for utility bills, and see if that text message is similar, and more than likely you're being scammed.
Yeah, I think all this is being vigilant, and also, like you say, be proactive as well. Give me maybe one or two other top scams that you're seeing.
Travel scams. We know this is the time of year for traveling, and individuals know you want quick, cheap, or inexpensive places to stay. So a lot of times, if you're searching on social media, or if you're just searching websites, all of a sudden you have these different ads that come up. Hey, are you looking for a place to stay this summer? Always be vigilant, be careful, make sure the address is actually what it says it is. And you can always go to Google Maps and search that address to make sure, if you're staying at an Airbnb, that it's an actual address and not a fake one.
Yeah, I think so much of this is taking a little extra time to do your research, do your homework, just knowing that unfortunately people are out there trying to prey on you and forcing you to make quick decisions or playing on, whether it's the convenience, the price, whatever it is. With everything going on in society, they know that there are some, trigger points that you have that they want to use as levers to be able to take advantage of you. So all of this, I think, come back to being protective. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned trigger, because I always say there are always trigger words when there's a scam. Do something now. They're preying on your emotions, right? I will tell you a personal story about me. Many years ago, about 11 years ago now, my child is now 12. I wanted the opportunity to stay at home with him. I don't know how scammers know what's going on in your life, but of course I received an email. Are you tired of working full time? Do you want to spend more time with your child? And of course, I clicked the link, I went down the rabbit hole, and I was scammed. Thankfully, they weren't able to get too much information from me, but they were able to receive enough. It's all because I didn't take the time to think, relax before clicking on that email, because I needed something now. In the email, it said click now, and that's exactly what I did. So take the time, pause, think before you click.
And I think it also shows that at any point you can be vulnerable, and any one of us, can be a victim when you look at just the prevalence alone. I mean, I think it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, and whether it's accidental or, just the moment that is, upon you where it's like, hey, this sounds great, let's take advantage of it. And the next thing you know. So I think for all of us, just knowing that there are so many out there, but we have to remain vigilant, and obviously knowing that the BBB is there to help us out and to make sure that you've got our back, which is awesome. So definitely appreciate that. Let's talk about some of the other initiatives. You have a number of different programs. You have awards that celebrate, authenticity and trust and integrity. You have all sorts of things that you do. So give us a couple of other things that you wish everyone knew about the BBB.
Yes, we are more than just scams, and we're more than just complaints, right? We do a lot more than that. As you mentioned, the different awards we offer throughout the year. Currently, we have the award season open, the nominations open for Spark Awards. If you're someone who's 35 or younger, if you've been in business for 3 years or less, we would love for you to be nominated or for you to complete an application to be considered for our Spark Award. It's just a way for us to highlight those younger businesses or businesses who've been around for 3 years or less who are doing great things and who we consider to be trustworthy in the marketplace. Another initiative we have currently is with Channel 2 WKRN. Every week, we have a newsmaker segment where we're updating our consumers and businesses on all of the scams that are going on and they need to be aware of. A third thing we're working on is with Apprenticeship Tennessee. We understand the workforce. It's a challenge right now for many. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. And we have collaborated with Apprenticeship Tennessee to ensure businesses, not only our accredited businesses, but all businesses understand what having an apprenticeship program can do for retention.
When you talk about apprenticeship, you think about obviously things like metalworking, woodworking, some of the trade side. But I think you're seeing the benefits of technology and really all different sides and types of businesses using an apprenticeship model.
Yep.
When you look at the power of the apprenticeship model itself, what does that mean for the future of Middle Tennessee?
It means we have a stable workforce. It means that we have individuals who are more seasoned and have specific skills to meet the needs of the future.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part when you look at being innovative, being creative, figuring out, okay, how do we work through as a team, as a community, the challenges that we're faced, and obviously talent attraction, development, and retention being a big piece of that. Apprenticeship is a powerful way to really work to share all of that across generations, but make sure that you have a trained and equipped, but also a loyal, because you're building those relationships, employment team, so workers that are stepping in. What's your favorite part of working at the Better Business Bureau?
My favorite part is ensuring we get information out to consumers and businesses. Well, I have several parts. right? I want to ensure we get information out to consumers and businesses, but I also love the team we work with. Our CEO, Robin Householder, her team is strong. And what we are projecting out is the same as what we're expecting from our businesses. The importance of trust, the importance of ensuring you are who you are behind the scenes and out front. So integrity, which is why I love working for BBB.
Absolutely. Wrap up with contact information. So where do we go? Website, social media, phone number. Where do we go to learn more about the Better Business Bureau of Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky?
Yes, www.bbb.org. You'll get all our information there, all our contact information, anything we have going on. We would love to hear from you. And also visit us on social media and like our social media pages.
Well, Lorna, thank you for all you and your amazing team do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.